All right, what's up, y'all? Today is December the 9th, 2018, and we are here in our kind of market overview. We don't do these on Fridays. We really wait until Sunday to do this when I do my other non-public videos for our folks at SellThatOption. Let's get right into the S&P 500. So, stock market analysis. So, a couple of things here. One, we do have a slightly altered trend line that I'm going to be watching. We do continue to have lower highs, right? And then we also have, perhaps most importantly, this death cross. Okay, so we had the 50 simple moving average in dark blue go under the 200 simple moving average in a teal color. And so I do think we have entered kind of officially, and something that I've been playing, officially entered into, for me at least, a bear market. And most of my assumptions are going to be longer term bearish. Unless I see some moving averages cross or some trend lines break, but I actually anticipate us breaking this trend line down here. In fact, let's even go to our futures. Our futures are down almost a percentage, so basically 2/3 of a percentage in all of our futures here in the Russell, the Nasdaq, and the S&P 500. And so we are looking at a pretty significant gap down again. In this gap down to 60, we are pretty close to actually challenging this trend line where we're at here in the minis. Same thing looking here at the Nasdaq. So our Qs, we'd already seen earlier in the week this death cross 9. EMA is working against us, and we have this particular 50 simple moving average that's going to continue to challenge us here. We're seeing a little bit of an increase in volume, right? And so I think it's important to note increase in volume down here. Okay. The Dow Jones, the diamonds, we have a cross coming. It hasn't happened yet, but it looks like it may come. Really want to see this breakdown right here of this particular trend line before we do anything, but we have seen lower highs, and we are creating a channel here. You'll notice that all of these typically look the same, and that is because, these are our major market indicators. Now, we did break this trend line, right? We did hit a new low since we had this high, right? We're actually in our weekly. Let's get out of here and get to our daily. And then we can see even more. Such a significant break right here. Our IWM, our Russell 2000, tends to be our leading indice. And we did see this break right here, which leads me to believe, right, that we can see continued bear market. Right, this does not look like a healthy chart, and so I am certainly bearish kind of in my own personal assumptions here in the IWM. Also, we are out of the box here in the VIX. So again, if you haven't labeled your VIX like this, this box tends to be pretty bullish for equities because our volatility is low. I mentioned on this day that I needed to see what was going to happen before I really saw something that I thought would have been a return to a bullish market. Didn't see that. We saw a pretty high peak of volatility, which is, of course, reflected in our VXX. Right, we've been since the beginning of October really haven't been able to break past this 32 level with any level of conviction. And so that is, head and shoulders pattern, whatever you want to call it right here. It is a pretty significant level of support right now. All right, let's get into our other charts, kind of our major market charts. We did have EWZ, which has been pretty volatile lately, down almost 2%. We had gold continue its rally, right? So gold is continuing to move up pretty significantly. TLT didn't do anything, so we had this pretty massive gap, but since then TLT hasn't not done anything. IYR was down, which was pretty good for our portfolio. Oil, oil continues to remain interesting. Let's bump up oil here. So we have seen the whole moving average switch to a light teal color, which is bullish here. I don't know that I'm sold yet, though. I have some oil positions on in the portfolio, but they're not necessarily bullish trades, right? They are bullish to neutral, really, and I think that's because I'm just not sold because a lot of the geopolitical things that are going on right now with OPEC and oil that I'm necessarily sold. All right. Other than that, though, we have XRT, which has been in a pretty significant downtrend recently. Certainly worth noting here that XRT has again not been particularly healthy, and we see major resistance here with this simple moving average here on the 50. Other than that, I am really, again, bearish on this market, and I think that's going to be particularly relevant as we move into the new year. My market watch, tab, we are seeing higher levels of volatility, and so I do think that we're just going to continue to see a lot of volatility. I think we're going to continue to see a pretty protracted downward move in the market. At the beginning of the year, we were lucky, at least up until February, we were lucky to get any securities that had implied volatility percentile levels above 30. If it was at 30, we were excited. I actually just alerted a trade in IYR, and my templates for my alerts is in IYR, and so when I sent IYR out, what ended up happening is I looked at the amount of credit that I got then, and literally the exact same trade. It was centered over the 80 contract, about the same amount of days out from expiration, and I got $2 in credit there for that IYR position, or real estate ETF, and I got $3 in this position, and that's just because we're in a level of higher implied volatility. So it's an interesting time. It's really good for us to be trading, and it's exciting. This is an exciting time to be trading and to be in the markets. And I think a lot of good stuff's going to come out as we continue to move into the end of the year. So that's really it. Kind of my thoughts, taking a look at some of the charts, some of the stuff that we're doing here. I think that, you should probably be creating your own charts and be looking for patterns and begin testing things out in order to really become a self-sufficient trader, which is ultimately the goal. And I'm just kind of showing you some of the things that I see and some of the decisions that I'm basing my trading on. Now, if you have any questions at all, please feel free to reach out to me at Ryan at SellThatOption. Otherwise, let's have a great week, everyone.